We've seen the bloodied scenes behind yellow tapes, the women killed at the hands of men. In many cases, men they know. A tragedy that appears to be on the rise in the Greater Toronto area. Last year, 23 people died in domestic fatalities. And in 2019, the 5 police forces in the GTA together received over 47,000 domestic calls. Calls that in some cities are on the rise.
Well, the numbers are startling, painting a picture of a problem that is outgrowing a system that experts say is already at capacity.
In the month of December, we helped the same number of women that we did in all of 2016.
Yasmin Yusuf, who oversees 6 transitional homes at Nisa Homes for women and children who experience violence, has seen a dramatic spike in the demand for support services. In 2016, the Canadian organization, which supports immigrants, newcomers, and Muslim women, received 127 calls asking for help. Last year alone, they got more than 7 times that number, 980. She attributes the growing demand to awareness. More people know about their services. In some cases, their clients are members of communities who oftentimes face barriers accessing these life-saving resources.
For immigrants and for refugees, the first place they go is their religious center or, closely after that, their community center. And if the information is not available there, they don't know how else to access it.
Free or low-cost resources such as counseling are also a challenge to access. Yusuf says the wait times are 6 months to a year.
A lot of times they reach out for help before they need to leave their homes, and yet if they're not given that help properly, it escalates.
That same demand is also reflected on a wider scale. Shelter Voices, an annual survey that gives a snapshot of the demand for transition houses and shelters in Canada, states that nearly 80% of women and kids who need space are turned away because there's no room for them. Nisa Homes also has a wait list for women who are unable to find shelter elsewhere in Canada.
Most of the time, either they'll go couch surfing, they'll go back to their abusive partners.
Police in the GTA, including west of Toronto, are also taking notice of these violent occurrences. In Peel Region, almost half of the homicides in 2019 were cases of family or intimate partner violence. Just recently, the force launched a pilot project at 21 Division, where a core group of 3 investigators will now follow up on reports of domestic violence instead of the usual uniformed police officers who oftentimes respond to these calls.
It will pinpoint and streamline how we can better utilize this particular initiative in all our different divisions in order to support these types of calls.
MP Police is also distributing pamphlets in 5 different languages that provide details on what resources are available for victims of family or intimate partner violence. Another resource, Yasmin Yusuf says, is calling 211, and that could be helpful. It's a 24-hour telephone helpline and website that can connect you to community and government social services in over 150 languages.